Do you ever feel like you're working really hard and you're doing all the things that your manager's telling you to do or the internet is telling you to do if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to figure it out? But I don't know if you ever feel like you're on information overload today, but I honestly think we're all on information overload. There is so much information available to us, which I'm grateful for because we can learn anything, anytime, any day now. I think the problem is, though, when there's so much information, how do you personally get a transformation in your life, in your outcomes, in your business, and in your income? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. But before I dive into that, I do want to take a minute and share just a little bit about myself. And I know on YouTube, all the rules and the hook and the stuff says don't talk about yourself. But I think it's really important, you guys, that you understand who you're listening to. There are some really cool, powerful people out there that I listen to, but I think there's a lot of noise out there. So I'm going to say whoever you're listening to, including me and all those experts, make sure they have the results that you want. There's a lot of new people trying to figure it out, and they might have read a book and they might be regurgitating information, but make sure you get a top-notch expert, and then you can take the nuggets that they're going to teach you. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Cappy Pidwell. I am a master hypnotherapist, and I'm a master of neuro-linguistic programming. I have been doing this for 30 years, guys. I have books, I've been in movies, I have products online, I have a website, all that great stuff. But I want you to understand that because I've also helped thousands and thousands of people over years of my journey to get them the outcomes. And I want to share with you a little snippet of that because it's important. I was in corporate sales. I worked at a job. I had a lot of pressure. I was under tons of stress back in the day. And I decided to go try hypnosis because I had lockjaw in my jaw really bad. I had TMJ and it was from stress. And I've talked about this a little bit on stages and stuff. But what a lot of people don't know, that stress was also very personal. It was in a marriage I was in that was unhappy. I had two little kids, and I ended up getting a divorce, and I ended up with a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old as a single mother. And let me tell you, it was extremely stressful. I was in sales. I was going through a divorce. I had to sell my house. I didn't know how to be single. I went right from my mom to my husband back in the day, and I was married for 15 years or with him for 15 years, married 10. And it was very, very stressful to all of a sudden become a single mom and work, a lot and have not a lot of support system in my life. So I share that with you because I truly believe if anyone can build a business with two babies by themselves and learn the ins and outs, and I have failed my way to success, you guys. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's all, what it is today, like it was always like that, because it certainly wasn't. And also, there weren't coaches back then. There wasn't the internet back then, believe it or not. And that was 30 years ago. And I went to school. I had to figure things out at night. I had to learn human behavior and NLP and hypnotherapy. And I took tons of classes. I was in school for years. And people were not talking about this back then, especially as a woman. And I really felt like my job back then wasn't just to get a job, it was to be a level of leader for my two daughters, to show them that they can pursue their passion, that they can do what they want to do with their life. And I really felt a sense of personal responsibility as being their mother to get that outcome for them. So here I am 30 years later. They're grown, and I have done great in my business as, everybody watching this and everybody that wants to be a part of my community has learned a lot of things from me because part of our journey, I really think, is important to share with people and be vulnerable sometimes about some of those failures. So when people say, Cappy, how did you get into this? It was because of stress. I never chose this career to be a mindset coach and be a master hypnotherapist and help salespeople. And I'll tell you, when I started helping people with everything and anything, I would help anyone like stop smoking and lose weight and get a good night's sleep. I did everything when I had a private practice. And I finally realized that I didn't like to do certain sessions. I didn't like addictions. I didn't like some of the deeper, harder depression things. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I am a master of neuro-linguistic programming and I'm a master hypnotherapist. So I know the subconscious very, very well. So my clients would get results, but I found it drained me. So I was like, who do I want to work with? And because I was an entrepreneur and because I was a single mother and because I, worked really hard to build my own business, I found I really, really love entrepreneurs. I love people with passion and purpose, and they know they have something deeper inside of them. They want to monetize themselves. And it's what I did. It's what I learned for myself. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's important that people understand who's leading them and the information they're sharing with them isn't something I regurgitated out of a book. Okay. So our journeys of passion and purpose, I truly believe really, really matter. So here's a few tips I want to leave you with, right? And again, I know you've heard some of these things, but if you want to package you and package your purpose and sell yourself, you have to be so clear on the problem you solve for people. Okay. I don't solve every single problem out there. The biggest problem I solve for people is when they can't monetize themselves. And I teach a lot on this channel, and again, have for years on stages and in subconscious sessions and coaching I do, is people's money mindset. Identifying their blueprint, if it's lackful, if they worry about money, if they fear money, if there's never enough money. I have a lot of videos on here, like what's your money story? And I have your money mindset exposed. You can go watch those videos. I'll put them at the end. But you need to understand that you have this personal relationship to money and you have an inner identity to it. So if you grew up with stress around money or your parents said things like there's never enough or you're not monetizing your purpose or your passion, then I guarantee you that starts here. That doesn't start on get rich quick or I'm going to go get this thing and it's going to make me a ton of money, then I'll be happy. But yet you live in lack and you lay in bed at night and worry how you're going to pay your bills or you stress or you borrow money or whatever it is you're doing. That is a habitual thought pattern that inside needs to be changed. So I share that with you because when I'm coaching people, they're telling me about their dreams, right? Like, Kathy, I want to do this. And, have you heard of this or read this book or done this thing? And I have not done it all. But I think it's important for you to understand, like, what problem do you solve? So that's one problem I solve. I think the second problem I solve for people is really helping them identify how are they getting their business? How are you getting leads? So I'm going to give you a for instance. I was talking to this lady a few weeks ago and she was telling me all the things she does. Cappy, I'm so busy. I don't have time and I can't do this. And she was driving like an hour and a half to this appointment. And she ends up telling me that this appointment was like feeling weird and it was sketchy and she didn't feel like she should go, but she needs the money. And I told her, "Don't go." And you might think, "Why would you tell her that? She needs the money." But everything inside of her, her instincts felt like it was kinda sketchy and weird, and the guy on the other end was kinda weird and was saying something like he looked at her picture and he liked her smile or something weird, and I know that sounds silly, like, and a lot of people would go, "Well, whatever, like, I'm gonna go," they were looking at a house, it was a real estate agent. And, she said, "Cappy, I just listened to I listened to you, and I was gonna go." And I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you coming from desperation and aligning with opportunities that" if this person's really serious, meet somewhere, you know, get on a Zoom, do something different to where you're comfortable. And I think that a lot of people waste time on doing the things that either they know internally they don't wanna do and they don't have what I call smart strategies. So, for instance, if somebody says, make 100 calls a day, and you're like, ugh, I can't, right? Then what else could you do to connect with people, right? I think that a lot of times people sabotage their own success because they don't want to put themselves out there. There's a lot of fear of failure, fear of judgment. Everybody's seeking approval today, right? And the reality is, you need that inner approval. If you are solving a problem for a person, you have to share that solution with them. That's really really important that you do that, but make sure you're sharing it with the right people and you're taking the right actions to align with the right people, right? So instead of taking a few hour drive, which would have taken her half the day to already go to something she felt was icky, I was like, what else could you do in that 3 hour time? What could you focus on? Could you make 5 calls? Could you go online and make a post? Could you make a video and share the solution you provide to people? That might hit 50 people versus one person you felt icky about. So the thing is, if something doesn't work out the way you think it's going to, don't do nothing. Don't just pull the plug and be like, oh, I don't have an appointment now, whatever. It's like, how can you leverage that time to get new outcomes? Really, really important. So I think that you know the problem you solve, and then how are you going to package yourself? So I know for me, I have products online. I have a book on Amazon. I have coaching I do. I have a free PDF on my website. I have everything from free to high end, right? So any person who's seeking a solution can start with a free PDF download. They can watch free YouTube videos here. They can go get a book on Amazon for 20 bucks. Someone else is like, no, I need coaching. I need personal subconscious sessions. I don't want to go buy you in a box online, Cappy, but I have programs online that you can do. It comes with an ebook and video training, and then you listen to the subconscious session. Everything I do is about your subconscious mind, you guys. I am a master of neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a master hypnotherapist, and I also do EFT and a lot of different processes that help you break up those beliefs in your subconscious to then create new outcomes, behaviors, actions, and reactions. So most coaching is focused on the action. Take action, do these things, and then you'll get a reaction. But I really focus on before that. It's the belief, it's the feeling, it's the inner identity, upgrading all that, then finding those smart strategies that fit your personality. Right. So if you are a person who loves dogs, let's just say, uh, you should brand and incorporate your passion, your purpose. If you're not doing that for a business, pull your dog in on a video and be like, hey guys, I love dogs. Don't be afraid to be yourself. I can tell you, I'm sitting here in my living room at my house. I live in California. I love the lake. I have a boat. I've always dreamed about living on the water. It is just my passion to be in an environment that feeds my soul and has abundance all around me. And I created that through seeing it and feeling it first and having the business model and the smart strategies in place that monetize me and allow me to live the lifestyle that I want today. So if you're seeking those kinds of changes and you're ready for a really great coach, I do have a link below that you can book a call with me. There is a qualifying questionnaire. You need to be able to invest your time and money into that. And if we find that we're a good fit to work together, then I am happy to help you get there at super speed, fast track speed, to get the outcomes and the income you want. So anyway, thanks for taking a minute and let me just sharing more on a personal level with you today to help you get new outcomes and more income. And go watch some other videos and leave me a comment. Let me know where you are in the world, what the biggest breakthrough you'd like an outcome or an answer to, and I just might make a video about it. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in my next video.